Hi, everybody. Welcome to Journeys with Jeff. Good to have you with us again. Steve Tilson, John Klayman are our guests for tonight. Steve Tilson, born and raised in Avon, Connecticut. John Klayman was born in LA, but grew up in Avon. And they both are residents right now of in Torrington. And they have collaborated with each other on a project that they call Bristlecone Music. And I just want to, first of all, welcome you guys to the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you for having us.
Steve, just briefly, you were born and raised in Avon.
Right.
And so I take it Avon High, and you went the whole childhood trip there. And
Went to Avon High. John joined me there, and sometime in the mid-'60s.
Yeah, I moved there in, I think, '68. And yeah, we went to high school together and remained friends ever since. And we've collaborated in a number of projects, including this one now.
well, you probably went your own way after high school. You probably parted ways for a while, and
Sure.
and
Yeah,
went off
never out of
did
touch,
your own thing.
but did our own thing.
But you never lost touch. You stayed in touch with each other.
We did, yes.
So it was a friendship that stayed intact, even though you were apart for a while.
Very
And-
much so, yes.
And what happened? At what point did you guys get back together again, as it were, and to work on your music?
that's
I
we were never apart.
well, we
were,
were
but we
inactive
weren't.
for
Right.
a long time. I had kept my hand in. You had pretty much put down music for quite a long time, but then you acquired the digital recording equipment and became very skilled at using it. And that sort of reawakened your musical interest. And I had kept my hand in music the entire time. We decided that we could do a few things.
So you guys, this music for both of you guys has been kind of a lifelong interest, a passion,
Certainly,
whatever.
yes.
I would
Yeah.
say so.
Yeah.
I was with various bands through the Hartford area for many years, Appaloosa being the last one. And then came responsibility. Children, and all that stuff. So I had to put all that stuff away. So for 32 years, I had never touched an instrument. And one afternoon, we were at John's house, and just one thing led to another. Before we know it, I was playing a guitar, he was playing a piano, and we came up with something that sounded interesting. Then we decided to record it, and I had a little digital recording.
Well,
package.
you guys have is it your group? You're called Bristlecone.
Bristlecone Music.
Bristlecone
yes.
Music.
Right.
What is that Bristlecone? What does that mean?
The bristlecone pine tree is the oldest living thing on Earth, and musically, so are we. So we're not quite of the modern world. Neither is the bristlecone. So we named ourselves after the bristlecone pine.
Very interesting. And so well, the thing that impresses me, start right off here with this, is you guys collaborate with each other. You have, with your music, you write. The thing that blows my mind is you write the lyrics, you compose the music, you play the instruments, you sing, the technology you produce, produce the CD, the final product. I mean, that's like. That's amazing that you are involved in every single aspect and every element of the making of this music. Is it just something that comes naturally to you that you decided to do it that way, or what?
Once we discovered we had something. It's unique. If you dial back time to the mid to late '70s, it would not probably seem as unique as it does from this particular perspective. We kind of picked up where we left off and came in that way. Yeah.
I would say that we found that we had complementary skills that allowed us to perform all the functions, essentially, of a record company. Steve had developed the skills with the recording equipment, and I was a music major in college, so I had a certain amount of formal training in composition, and that allowed us to, like I said, we had complementary skills that allowed us to perform all the different functions.
Where'd you go to college?
Not a conservatory by any means. Out in Washington State at Evergreen State College.
And you were was it music major?
I was a music major. Yeah, I studied classical guitar and composition. Yeah.
I see.
But I never worked in music after that. I worked in electronics and aviation.
Yeah, so that was, but that must have stayed, music was some love, you had some love
I
for it.
I stayed with it. I never did it professionally until now, if you know. But I had always kept an interest in it.
So both of you guys have had an interest in playing music virtually all your lives from childhood.
Yeah.
Right, Steve, would you say that applies to you too?
I would say so. I started the trumpet when I was in 3rd or 4th grade. Back then they had the music programs through the grade schools and stuff. So
Yeah.
I played the trumpet much to my parents'
I was forced
chagrin.
I was forced to play the violin. But then we both started to play guitar, and things got better.
Yeah, I went from John Philip Sousa to I don't know,
Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin. Yeah.
Well, you guys, you were at Avon High together.
Yeah.
Back then, did you know that you were on the same wavelength in terms of your love for music?
We played guitars.
Yeah, we played guitars.
Yeah.
We played out for a while. We played at the old Oakwood. That I think
Yeah, I
that's
remember.
long gone.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Oakwood.
we played at the Oakwood in like
West Hartford, right?
Yeah.
Back when duos were really big, and
Yeah. Yeah, we played a little bit of semi-pro type of stuff like that.
Well, you know, it's unusual to find people who take on the entire process. You guys have taken on the writing, the composing, the singing, the playing, the instruments, and then the back, you know, the music, the technology.
Yes.
How do you do that?
Well, we built
How do you
two.
decide who does what?
We built 2 studios. John has the instrumental studio at his house. I've got the vocal lab at mine, and so we could work both independently and then together. This is when you're working with things like this, sometimes a little separation is good, and then you bring in your ideas, and the other one can hear what you've done.
Right.
Through that process.
I'm sorry.
No, go
I didn't
ahead.
mean to interrupt. I was just going to say that Steve is sort of the front man for the band. He does the vocals, almost all the vocals. He does the guitars. I do bass and keyboards. And as far as the composition goes, the music composition, I would say, is about 50-50. We both
would say, yeah.
We both
Yeah.
contribute, and then go from there.
Where do you get your ideas from? I'm gonna share with the viewers some of your samples of a few of your songs and some of the lines which I've already looked at, and some really very wonderful graphic, beautiful lyrics. Where do you get your ideas from? You guys travel around? Haven't you guys done a lot of traveling? And
We have. We get a lot. We've done a lot of hiking together. We've hiked most of southern New England and other places too. So we get a lot of inspiration from hiking and nature, mountain climbing. Also, we both were involved in aviation. I was involved professionally, and Steve is also a private pilot. So some of our songs have aviation references. They sort of have eye of God sort of view of things. And then also the lyrics are drawn from personal experience, but they're not autobiographical. They're meant to be they're meant to apply to everybody. They're meant to be universal themes.
They'll apply to a circumstance or a feeling, a nuance. It's kind of hard to put into words, but the way John has crafted most of the lyrics on there is they're open to a lot of different experiences going down that particular road. So the people who have listened to it, I'm constantly amazed at what they get out of it, what they think the song is actually about.
What genre, if you had to put a label onto your genre of your music, how would you describe
Good.
it?
Yes.
Yeah, good music.
We're Americana is what they call it. We're usually referred to as Americana. We're also retro. We're 70s retro. But we're a little hard to classify because we sort of jump around.
It's very right now. We're classified by the industry as Americana.
Yeah, classic rock to some degree.
Classic rock to some degree,
Yeah.
with a capital C.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can I jump over to Tree Line now?
Sure,
or how
please. Yeah.
Would you like to play
could,
it? Would you like to?
Yeah, whatever you like.
Yeah, well, I thought we just, the viewers are in for a real treat, you viewers, because we're going to be showing a lot of the pictures that you guys have had on your travels of different beautiful, different landscapes and different places, and that go along with your music. So you viewers are in for a real treat. But this is just, this is one little couple of lines from one of your songs called Tree Line. And it says, "Smoke in my thoughts, dust in my eyes, ghosts in my sleep, and the ache when I rise. I abandoned myself at the tree line, hearing only the song of the wild. Every turn is unknown at the tree line, every step with the eyes of a child." That's... Where'd that come from? Did that come from the hiking that you did?
Yeah, that's inspired by hiking, by mountain climbing. Yeah.
It sounds like though the ache when I rise. It got to do with unrequited love. Is it a love song?
Okay.
It could be.
Well, the lyrics are left deliberately open so that the listener can arrive at their own interpretation. You interpret it that way, and therefore that is a valid interpretation.
That's the beauty. That's one of the beauty. So if you had 10 different people listen to this song, you could have 10 different...
Or 11.
But you would have 10 different interpretations, or...
That's what I'm hoping for.
Of that.
Yes, yes.
Because it's such a, it's such a personal, subjective experience that you guys... It's amazing that you have the creativity to put something that would appeal to everybody in their own personal way. That's amazing.
I think that's universal concepts. I think would be that everybody has experienced this, whether you've ever climbed a mountain or not. Certainly, you've climbed several flights of stairs. Certainly, you've ridden a bicycle up a hill. These are all things that are that joint experience that after a while you abandon yourself to that process, that adventure.
And what do you do? How does it come out? Is it just you just kind of, you've got all of this, these experiences and all this food for thought going on in your hearts and in your minds and deep in your creative souls. And how does it actually start taking form? Do you just kind of free stream of consciousness?
Well, I can take a start on that. With me, lyrically, it starts with rhythm. I don't write the lyrics until I know what the rhythm is. And frequently, Steve will have come up with a theme that has a particular rhythm, and I'll listen to it, and we'll get it isolated and standing up by itself, and maybe we'll develop it a little bit. And then once I know the cadence, then I can write the lyrics, because the lyrics are written to precisely fit the rhythm of the song.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's where it starts for me.
We can play that little section if you'd like.
Well, yes. Well, you know, my producer just said that we got 5 minutes to go in this segment, which blows my mind, because it seems like it's been
fast.
5 seconds.
Wow, yeah.
And we're down to 3 minutes now. We're going to do so you people will know out there, we're going to wind up this half hour. Next month we're going to do another half hour, continue with these gentlemen. But what do you want to do right now?
Let's go ahead and just do that little bit of tree line, and
Go ahead.
just a few seconds, and
Absolutely.
then we'll come back.
Smoke in my thoughts, dust in my eyes, ghosts in my sleep, and the ache when I rise. I abandon myself at the tree line, hearing only the song of the wild. Every turn is unknown at the tree line. Every step with the eyes of a child.
That is some of the most soulful, beautiful. I mean, that's what blows my mind, is that you guys were the whole process. You guys wrote it, and who composes who writes the music, the tone, the notes, and all that stuff.
We both do.
Yeah.
It's I would say that the music is really 50-50. Steve is doing the vocals, and he's playing the guitar, so he really stands out in that clip, doing some great work.
And where you draw your inspiration for these songs and other ones that the viewers will be listening to from time to time. You draw. Where do you draw your inspiration from? Is it mostly from, your personal lives, your memories, your experiences, your travels? A little bit of everything?
Yeah, all of the above. All of the above. It's hard to say, exactly where the idea comes from, but like I say, I'll come back to it again. It starts with rhythm for me. You have more to say on that.
Well, there's a lot of conversation with this. It's a creative process, so we want to make sure that the themes are universal and whatnot. But
yes.
some of these came real easy. 1, 2, 3, it was done. Others took weeks, months.
Yes, and
to complete.
And you shouldn't think that it'll all come out perfect the first time. It takes a lot of editing, and a lot ends up on the cutting room floor. It's work like any other.
So between the inception and the final product, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Hours and hundreds of hours of work.
Hundreds of
hours.
Thousands, actually.
Rewriting and re-record. Oh yeah.
Well, we're going to continue. We're down to the last minute of the first. I can't believe how the first half hour has gone by so fast. We want to pick this up. For the audience, you people out there, The next Journeys with Jeff will continue with Steve and with John, talking about Bristlecone music and their songs. And meanwhile, you guys, we've got music to play. There's some beautiful, beautiful photographs that you guys are going to be exposed to. That's going to be coming up
Right at the close of the show.
at the close of the show.
Yep.
So don't change the channel. Watch this, and we will see you next month with John and with Steve. Thank you.
Desert, out across a darkened plain, the road to heaven, written on a black terrain, appeared before me, links within a silver chain, a blaze of light, shot through the night, and filled the air with sound. Tried to warn you, back at the burning rock, tried to tell you, when all the world is talk, tried to save you from the lightning shock. You dove right into the spin where I won't follow. It reached so high, higher than a night bird flies. It flew much farther, farther than the starless sky. Don't try to follow, this highway can hypnotize. Steer clear, listen to your fear. Stay here on the ground. That can occur. We were witness to things that never were. Shadow memory, I'll never be quite sure.